The atmosphere here is very, very steady, so that the blurring of the stellar image is very, very minimum compared to any of the other observatories. And second, we're very high, so that most of the water vapor is below us. That means that the infrared radiation more easily reaches our telescopes than if we were deeper in the atmosphere.
The Keck telescope is entirely revolutionary, and there are advantages to using many small mirrors.
Yes, we have 36 hexagons, each about 6 feet across, which make up the 10-meter mirror. And we have 6 spares so that we can essentially coat those 6, recoat them with aluminum without disturbing the run of the telescope. When they're ready, then during the day, replace 6 dirty ones.
In view of what you've learned from Keck 1, are you planning any major optical modifications for Keck 2?
We're not planning any major modifications. We are considering the possibility of coating the mirrors with silver rather than aluminum. We haven't made that decision yet. One advantage of that is that makes the mirror better for infrared astronomy than if it's coated with aluminum.
Do you think this will far outrank any other Earth-based telescope?
Well, one way to look at it is the Palomar 200-inch telescope, which is currently the most powerful effective telescope, can observe galaxies about halfway back to the Big Bang, about 8 billion years back if the Big Bang was 15 billion years ago. With the first Keck, we'll be able to look back about 12 billion years. That is a mere 3 billion years after the Big Bang. When both of them operate in tandem, we'll be able to look back to within the first to second billion years after the Big Bang, when we think galaxies actually began to form.
And I must ask you this, how will the Keck telescopes compare with the Hubble Space Telescope?
Well, they really work in a very good way, in the sense that the Hubble telescope, when we get the new camera up in 1993, will have much sharper images because it's above the atmosphere, but it has a much smaller mirror. So the Keck telescope will be able to collect a great deal more light on the same very dim, very remote objects, and therefore be able to measure their redshift, that is to measure how fast they're moving and therefore how far away they are, and therefore how far back in time we're looking.
Already, Mauna Kea has become the most revolutionary observatory in the world. There are great telescopes here, but the newest of them all is the Keck. And from the summit of this old volcano, the great telescope will be used to probe the furthest outposts of the universe. If you'd like a copy of the latest newsletter, send a stamped addressed envelope to Newsletter number 44, The Sky at Night, BBC TV, London W127RJ. And our information line carries the latest astronomical news. The number is 0898 666 000.
Tomorrow, one man's struggle to overcome a debilitating addiction to alcohol.
What's it gonna be, Johnny? Drinking or boxing? Stop drinking.
He's not religious enough. That's what's wrong with him. No respect for God.
Give me the price of a bottle.
You're slipping very, very close to the thin red line.
Screen 2 presents Mark Rylance in the Grass Arena tomorrow at 10:05 on BBC2.
Well, at 5:15 this afternoon, we've highlights of the first day's play in the first test between New Zealand and England. Well, now on to an Australian film drama based on the heartwarming true story of a young girl with cerebral palsy. Annie's Coming Out.
I went to Brentwood when I was 3. It was the state garbage bin. Very young children were taken into permanent care, regardless of their intelligence. If you were distorted, disfigured, or disturbed, the world would not have to see or acknowledge you. You knew you had failed to measure up to the standard expected of babies. you were totally outside the boundaries that delineated the human race. To be confined in an institution for the profoundly retarded just removes all hope. If you wanted to die, you had every opportunity. Death never appealed to me, however. I wanted revenge. The strongest emotion I felt was hate, and hate made me strong.
Letter for you.